Okay, today we are playing a game on Dorado. We are in the Gold SR range, and we will be playing the vast majority of this game as Lucio, but there is like 2 minutes of Ana right at the start of the game, but I swear to God, this is basically all Lucio. We're also on the PS4 today, by the way. Consider yourself forewarned. Current team composition is Reinhardt, Zarya, Junkrat, Tracer, Ana, and Bridget. So, reasons to be sad, no Hanzo, no Zenyatta. As is par for the course in this day and age. So, let's just start the game. So, what I will say also right at the start is that I don't really like our reticle, particularly. This is a very, like, personal thing and quite nitpicky, really, but it's a really thick reticle. There's a lot of excess visual noise on a reticle like that. I find the smaller reticles are better because it's very precise and there's less, like, extraneous visual noise happening, which is why I like the small dot. Very precise, whereas this is like, it's taking up a lot of screen real estate. But at the same time, whatever you like. So there's Ari's in a stupid place. We have just wasted our grenade, because we only had Reinhardt with it, and Reinhardt's like not in danger. Now, he decides to be in danger, so that's cool. The idea might have been to hit Zarya with it, but I'll remind you that if you make Zarya purple and she pushes shift, that makes her not purple anymore. So it's not particularly helpful, really. So the whole time that this is happening, Soldier is up on the high ground just shooting at us, which is unfortunate. We are also drifting into the people that we're shooting at, which is generally a bad habit for most heroes in the game, but Ana also doesn't really like to be right next to the fight, particularly because this is the thing, this is one of the few things Ana has, right? She's a long-range healer. We don't have many of those in the game right now. We got Ana, we got Zenyatta. That's basically it for long range. And Ana is at her weakest when people are right on top of her, so we don't really want to be drifting towards people at the same time. Could have probably killed him with the grenade. It looks like he might have died regardless, but he put the biotic field down. Throw the grenade, like, aim for, like, this spot right here. It's going to blow up on the wall. This is a really tight hallway, so if he takes cover in the hallway, it's going to hit him and it's going to kill him. And that means we don't have the grenade to use on, like, other things, but we're resetting right now anyway. We did throw the trank out up there, just kind of hoping it would hit him, which is bad for Ana in general. You don't want to throw out any of your abilities, just kind of hoping it does stuff. The strongest thing about Ana is her cooldown, so we don't want to just waste them. Unfortunately, we threw that on Zarya when we were trying to hit Zenyatta with it, and Zenyatta would have died. We also tranked somebody and they immediately got woken up again, which is just, that's just par for the course when you're playing Ana. So, yeah, don't walk forward again. We get put in an awkward position because Reinhardt cuts us off from the team. But we could just run back around the building to the left and reconvene with our team from behind. Instead, we just kind of like hang around in front of the Reinhardt, who definitely wants us dead because suddenly we're by ourselves over there. So we do almost have nano boost built up. That's cool. We don't have that many great targets to put it on. Bridget and Reinhardt are the best we've got. Bridget's actually a pretty good nano boost target. Managed to pick off Zenyatta. Their soldier is also currently dead, so 2 people dead on their team. Now we can actually maybe start getting some traction and getting through the archway, which is one of the hardest parts of Dorado. Did we need to throw that on Reinhardt? Not really. He's pretty close to full health, and we're such a greedy bitch. Oh my god, are we a greedy hoe? Oh, I want it. I want it. We didn't need to throw the grenade, though, on our Reinhardt right there. Ideally, we'd love to have it right now. Throw it into all those people in the middle of the graviton. It's one of the best feelings in the world. And we've just slowly, like, just look at the path we've taken. Oh, okay, that's happening. I'm going to drift around the backside of the fountain. Now I've put the enemy team between me and my team as Ana, which is really bad. Oh my goodness, we positioned like such a greedy hoe. And we didn't actually get punished for it, which is just a great injustice. Nano boosted Zarya, really bad. Try to avoid nano boosting Zarya. Even if she's at high charge, it doesn't tend to be that good. Don't recommend it. Do we change now? No, next time. We're near the end of the Ana section. And then it's Lucio the whole rest of the time. Whole team's dead, gotta wait for him to regroup. So we should have been punished a lot harder than we were for that previous fight, because we did just commit a gravely illegal maneuver by just slowly drifting behind the enemy team. I don't recommend trying to, like, press through the Reinhardt shield to trank him as Ana, because the chances of you getting punished for that are quite high. And if the Reinhardt's in any way decent, he won't just let you do that. So, I was trying to make this point earlier. When we use the grenade, we're trying to hit as many people on both teams as possible with it, really. Ideally, we hit both teams, but if not, we just want to hit a lot of people on our team or the enemy team, because the grenade is honestly the strongest thing about Ana. Like, the healing debuff is basically a death sentence for people, and the healing buff on your team makes it very difficult for them to die. It's not quite immortality, but it's close. Ana's over now. We're playing Lucio. Very drastic hero shift. Now suddenly we want to be up there fighting people. So, we've not got that much time left. We've got to get in and touch the objective. We've got the Graviton happening over there. We don't have any great combos for Graviton, unfortunately, on our team, because we don't have a Hanzo. You know, very sad, very sad. So the other healer, I believe, is still Bridget. So we've got a real bad combo of healers for this situation right here. We're not being super evasive right now, because the whole thing about Lucio is that he's hard to hit, right? We're kind of just jumping back and forth on top of the payload, which doesn't make you that difficult to hit. We are kind of trying to kill Soldier as well right now, but we're not being super evasive, and that's like the big thing about Lucio, is he's hard to hit. We do kind of just basically have to stay in healing mode right now. The other healer's Bridget, and we're on the payload right now. So there's actually a lot of AoE healing happening right now, and they're actually having trouble sealing any of the kills on us, because they don't have a super high DPS composition. And we're just constantly healing. And we managed to build up sound barrier, like, pretty quickly right there. And slowly gaining some traction, but oh no, now they're using, like, she's used Graviton twice in this fight. That's insane. Unfortunately, they had Graviton, Tire didn't amount to anything. Oh god, oh god. You're probably like, how the fuck is this a 19-minute video from this position, right? Like, we've lived far longer than we have any right to right here. Look, we're hopping around on the payload right now. We're being a little bit more evasive now, because when we were just jumping back and forth on top of the roof, we weren't really varying our position much. We do want to, like, duck behind the payload, jump side to side, rather than just forward and back, forward and back. So we've sound barriered twice during this overtime fight right now. Zarya used Graviton twice. That's insane when you think about how long it takes Graviton. The enemy soldier is using Tac Visor again. I think this might be the third time he's used Tac Visor in this fight. And now you must be like, oh, alright, they did it. They killed 4 of us, so that's it, right? Oh, hold on, my friends. We're not done yet. Because Junkrat just saved the game. With Reinhardt's help, to be fair. Let's go back and watch it again, right? Ooh, fucking look at that. It's not the greatest shatter in the world, but it was good enough. And now they're all dead. Look at how many tanks they had. That's insane. Reinhardt, Roadhog, Zarya, and Bridget, who is also basically a tank. That's insane. So after fighting on the objective for a good solid 4 minutes, like, we finally captured it. They're tilted after that one. I would be. Wouldn't you? You know you would. If you said no, I wouldn't be tilted by that, you're lying. And I know it. So we don't want to be in the healing aura as much as possible on Lucio. Because if you're sitting on the healing aura, but you're not healing anybody, that's the same as having your healing aura, just having no aura turned on at all if you're healing people at full health. The goal isn't to be in the speed aura as much as possible. A lot of Lucio players act like the healing aura is the default aura. No. The speed aura should be your default aura, and you need a reason to change back to the healing aura. Even if, like, you're in the middle of a fight, the ideal goal is still to be in the speed boost as much as possible. Then you crossfade onto the healing aura when you have Amp It Up, and then change back over to the speed aura again. Because without Amp It Up, Lucio's healing aura is pretty trash. It used to be worse, but like it's still pretty trash. So we want to be in the speed aura as much as possible. The other healer is Bridget, which might account for some of the time that we're spending in the healing aura, being like, well, we don't have like our main healer, so if we feel obligated to spend more time in the healing aura, we should still be in the speed aura as much as is physically possible. Even just like right there, just like speed boosting back onto the payload is going to be a greater net profit than just like sitting in the healing aura the whole time. We used Amp It Up here for no particular reason, really. Nobody's super hurt right now, and Amp It Up is an 11-second cooldown. It's a 12-second cooldown. That's really long. 12 seconds is a fucking long time in this video game. So we don't want to use Amp It Up for, like, no reason like that. So we do have Sound Barrier. We've got, like, a dive comp going, essentially, right now. So having Sound Barrier is really good for that. Winston's going in with Primal Rage. Speed boost up to this boy. We can see he's in trouble. We can see he's in critical health. Rather than walking up to him in the healing aura, like, we could save so much time if we change to speed aura. Also, wall ride as much as possible. Because if we went... This is going to be harder to do on a console, to be fair. But we can, if we hop on the wall directly to the right of us, because of where the gate is, we hop on the wall, we can get enough momentum off the speed boost from the wall to hop to this wall or that wall, and then flip over to the doorway faster. Especially if we're in the speed aura, it's way easier. But like we can see, this boy's in trouble. If we're going to go over here to try and heal this boy, we got to get there as quickly as possible, which means being in speed aura, and then we can do some sick jumps to get over there. Also, fun fact with how jumping off the wall works, it slightly accelerates you away from the wall when you jump off of it. So if you angle up slightly when you look, you will actually go slightly further in the jump because it accelerates you forward in the direction you're looking. So it boosts you up and gives you a bit of extra distance on the jump. But even if we don't go for the wall riding, right? Like, just change the speed aura to get to this boy faster, right? Because if somebody's in trouble, you don't want to walk up to them or skate up to them all slow. We got to get over there fast. Lucio's a fast hero, right? We want to be in speed aura as much as is physically possible. We spent the majority of this game in healing aura so far. I'll give the benefit of the doubt and assume we feel like we need to spend more time in healing aura because Bridget is the other healer, but like, we still want to be in the speed aura as much as possible. I'm going to sound like a broken record a lot during this video because the speed aura is really important for Lucio. So it's really greedy. We don't use Sound Barrier during this. We're such a greedy hoe. Like, we should have used Sound Barrier in here. Because, like, as soon as I see the Bastion set up over there, I'm like, Sound Barrier, let's go. Because we need to, like, try and, like, rush that boy or just not die, basically. Because this is how I think of Sound Barrier. Fittingly enough for Lucio, I think of it as being a tempo ultimate. And you either use it to get, like, a really good oomph on the initial engage, or you use it halfway through the fight for a second wind. And there's no better time for a second wind than when you suddenly see a Bastion setting up in front of you, because you want that Bastion dead. So ideally, we Sound Barrier, speed boost up to the Bastion, and then we, like, crush him with the team. Does involve some amount of help from your team, but that's, like, ideal. Either way, even if you don't expect to rush the Bastion, like, I see a Bastion setting up in front of me and we've got like Zarya, Winston as our tanks, I'm using Sound Barrier. So the other healer is actually Mercy now, so we are definitely a lot more justified in spending all of our time in the speed aura, basically. We don't want to be this far up. We should not be fighting this far up. We don't fight around the corner on the first checkpoint for Dorado. We fight under the archway. Because the archway is like one of the hardest choke points to break in the entire game. Meanwhile, this corner is a significantly worse checkpoint because their spawn's right there. And think about how far we have to go to get to safety. We got to go all the way up the street through the archway. It's so easy to get flanked because they can just come out the left door and come up on the staircase. They can go under and come up behind you. Like, it's so easy to get flanked if you're this far up. There's just like, it's a scary place to be. We don't want to be at the corner. We want to be over at the archway. Now, if your team are all standing up by the corner, you have to go stand up there with them, because otherwise they're just gonna get fucking killed anyway. Don't amp it up out of the spawn, because amp it up is a 12-second cooldown. Like, we're gonna get back to this fight, and we're not gonna have amp it up off cooldown yet. And when you're getting back to a fight, you really want to have amp it up, like, as you're getting there, because if we've got amp it up, right, we can get, like, here, and then amp it up over to the Zarya, and then change to the healing aura right as we get to her, and then she'll get the amp it up healing aura as well as us actually getting to her. Just using it coming out of the spawn, half the time by the time you get back to the fight, you don't have amp it up off cooldown again yet, because 12 seconds is really fucking long, and Lucio can get back to fights really fucking quickly. Most maps, it takes him like less than 10 seconds to get back to the fight. So like a 12-second cooldown is pretty long. Especially since if you died, some shit probably happened, and you're gonna want that really important cooldown when you get back to the fight. So we shouldn't have used sound barrier right here. We've like lost this fight, basically. We use it up, and we only use it on us and D.Va. Like, we can try and stall it out, but it's not really very realistic. I'd rather save sound barrier in that position. I think I was partway through making another point right at the start of this and then got, like, super distracted. Couldn't have been that important. I'm sure it'll come up again later. Be wall riding, also, as Lucio. Wall riding a lot, because most people are not... We shouldn't be fighting over this. We've lost this checkpoint, so we don't want to be fighting here anymore. When we're on the second checkpoint of Dorado, we do want to fight by the corner right in front of the church. Like, you turn left up the slope, then you turn right at the top of the slope. You want to fight around the bend going right on the second checkpoint. I was partway through making another point, and I've forgotten what that was. Oh yes, we want to be wall riding as much as possible. It just makes it harder for you to get hit. You're moving faster. Most people are not accustomed to tracking people moving along a wall, so it will fuck people up as well if they're less experienced, and just like makes you faster, makes you harder to get hit, all kinds of stuff. It's probably harder to do on the console because of the difficulty of like looking around. We shouldn't be doing what we're doing right now, which is like trying to fucking fight a Hanzo and a Roadhog as Lucio. Like, we should die for this. We should super die for this. If either of these people is like 1% better at the video game, we die for this, right? If you're gonna run a boy down, just change to the speed aura and run him out. Like, I know, just change to the speed aura is basically the moral of the story. But, like, if you're gonna run a boy down, we just speed boost up to that boy and, like, sound on fucking, what's it called? The wave. Might be sound wave. That'll, like, kill him at that point. Run up, punch him, sound wave him, he'll die. Rather than trying to hit him. Speed aura. Speed aura is really good. Speed aura should be your default setting. You need a reason to change to the healing aura, not a reason to change to the speed aura. Lucio is not picked because of how good he is as a healer. Lucio as a healer is one of the worst, if not the worst healer in the game. What he's picked for is the massive utility of the speed aura and the utility of sound barrier, right? Those two things are, like, huge. The speed aura is, like, really unfair if used correctly, because it just, like, makes it so easy to get through choke points if you speed aura. If you use amp it up in the speed aura correctly, you just, like, straight in and you're on the objective fighting rather than having to fight around the choke point. And then sound barrier as well, the extra buffer or at the start of the fight or the second wind partway through the fight, as well as being a reactive ultimate as well. Like, you can use it to block Dragon Blade or Tac Visor. There's no guarantee it saves you from them, but, like, you got a pretty, like, it'll fuck up the Genji pretty bad. You suddenly have 600 health. Genji's really dependent on getting resets off Dragon Blade, so, like, Sound Barrier helps with that. The moral of the story, it's been a bit of a rambling point, but the moral of the story is that Lucio is picked for his utility, not his healing. So, like, especially if you've got, like, a main healer with you, which hopefully you do. Lucio's an off healer, so hopefully the other healer's a main healer. You don't want to ever be in the healing aura. Like, we're going up here and we're fighting people. Like, be in the speed aura while you're fighting people. It makes it harder for them to hit you. And then you can change, if you need healing partway through the fight, sorry, I banged the table. you can change to the healing aura, amp it up, heal back up, change back to the speed aura again. If, like, yeah, you know, if you get chipped, like, the healing aura without amp it up is just, like, so not particularly helpful that usually just having the speed aura on so you're harder to hit ends up making you more survivable than having the healing aura on all of the time. Lucio's a fast boy. All right, you gotta be fast. You gotta be out there. You gotta be riding walls, going up there, punching people, reacting to things. Like, you gotta see somebody in danger, you gotta, like, I just glide across all the walls in the speed aura and get to that boy as quickly as possible. Like, push him away, amp it up to heal him. He's a fast hero, and we've played him quite slowly this game, basically. Like, Lucio, I find Lucio, like, very tedious to play, but he has some of the coolest movement in the game. Like, he has a lot of mobility available to him, and that's, we really want to try and leverage that as well as his utility. Like, Lucio can do shit no other hero can do, right? Because he is unbelievably fast. He has an AoE speed aura, and he can actually, like, kill people as well, which is quite rare for a support, honestly. And all we've really done is just kind of hop back and forth on the objective in the healing aura, which, I mean, you know, we're gonna win, spoiler warning, so obviously it worked out in this situation, especially, like, the first attacking checkpoint. Like, that was absolutely ridiculous, obviously, but, like, we played him, like, really slowly. We really weren't taking advantage of what makes Lucio strong, which is his speed aura, his utility, and the utility and damage he can do. We just kind of, like, hopped around, left-clicked in the general vicinity of them. Aiming on Lucio is hard, but it's actually like, ooh, here we go. Yeah, that should be play of the game. That's like definitely fair enough. He's even on the payload when he's using the tire, so he's contesting it still the whole time. Great stuff. Actually, aiming as Lucio is hard, obviously, because it's a very slow projectile weapon, but, like, if you can get, like, pretty good at aiming with Lucio, that's really good. Even if you just, like, farm the enemy tank a lot, right? Sound Barrier is a really strong ultimate, actually. Like, it's not as good as Transcendence in terms of a defensive ultimate, but as in terms of, like, an aggressive ultimate, it's so much better than Transcendence. Transcendence is an awful aggressive ultimate, whereas Sound Barrier gets to be a really good offensive ultimate, and still a pretty good defensive ultimate. So, like, farming up Sound Barrier, and then just being like, let's fucking go. This is the thing with playing Lucio, is that, like, you basically get to decide when you go. Because you Sound Barrier and Speed Boost amp it up, like, everybody's gonna go like, fuck, I guess we're going now. Basically, we play, like, real slow. Healing aura too much, speed aura more, please. Let's go, speed. Sonic. If we just sit in the healing aura, like, hopping around, left-clicking in the general area of them, like, we're just playing, like, a really shitty Moira at that point, right? Like, we're not really leveraging what's cool about Lucio, right? Every hero has, like, a thing about them that you're trying to leverage, and, like, the thing that's unfair about them, right? The thing that's unfair about Lucio is he gets to make his entire team faster, which is something no other hero in the game can do. Ana used to be able to, but nobody else can do it anymore. Lucio is the one with the speed boost, right? And for a really long time, the fact that he had the speed aura, like, massive 30-meter range, made him a mandatory pick until it got nerfed down to the tiny aura. And speed aura is still really good, it's just, like, takes a little bit more effort to use correctly. But it's still, like, insanely powerful, because it just completely, like, it makes it so easy for your team to reposition. And, like, if your team commits to a fight really aggressively with the speed aura going, if the enemy team doesn't have, like, a Lucio of their own, or, like, a defensive ultimate to use to, like, temper your aggression, they kind of just get wrecked because you're just on them so fucking fast, basically. And this is why Lucio was always, like, so good with a dive comp, because it's just like, let's fucking crush that Mercy right now. Everybody's going in on her. Sorry, I banged the table again, but I was really into it. So, Speed, really good. Really unfair thing about Lucio, speed aura and sound barrier. That's what we're trying to leverage to win the game, really. So, thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us, and I hope you found the video helpful.